This incident happened in 1997, which occurred during the month of July. At that time, I had been divorced from my wife for 2 years. Well, for those reasons, she kind of, so to speak, didn't lead a particularly proper lifestyle. We had a daughter, 8 years old, and on this day we had been celebrating a friend's wedding for 2 days. Naturally, there was eating and drinking, and we had to go to work extremely early in the morning. We indeed got up at 4 a.m. We had to walk about 5 kilometers to the city. We went on foot. There were no buses. The hangover was terrible. It was very bad. We walked for a long time. Then we parted ways in the city. I met another old acquaintance there who I hadn't seen in years. And we talked. I said, I feel unwell. At that time, I was 30 years old. So we smoked together and we went. I walked about 50 meters. I started feeling unwell. I sat down against the wall near the entrance to the store. Then I remember I get up, take a couple of steps, and a loud ringing suddenly in my ears and white light all around me. It was kind of like daylight, very white, like milk. Well, I was always interested in such things, reading books about them since childhood. But with the information available at that time, I immediately understood where I was, and immediately thoughts of how it happened, how it occurred. I can't, I have a daughter. I have to raise her, take her here and there. And immediately, scenes from my life flash before my eyes. For some reason, they are in black and white. They just keep flashing, and I start to understand. But the scenes from life are so negative. That is, I am beginning to understand why I am here, how I am here. I'm starting to worry. I think how I don't want to leave. And suddenly a voice seemed to come from nowhere, from everywhere. It's not your time yet. You can go further, but you can also return. I said, of course I'll come back. I still have things to do there and all that. The light was absolutely extraordinary, white. And I remember this incredible absolute calm and serene. Love through you, around you, everywhere. I remember everything. I open my eyes and I'm lying on my back in front of the store. There's a crowd of people around me. In a puddle of water, in a puddle of blood. I don't understand anything. And the first thought, God, I'm here again. They are lifting me up. There was a medical station nearby. Apparently people were trying to revive me, pouring water on me. As his friend said, about 5 minutes passed, maybe more, up to 10 minutes. And interestingly, I actually didn't feel intoxicated or hungover. As soon as I got up in the morning, I felt fine. My head was clear, and we went to the medical station. They gave me some injections. I went to the hospital because I had pierced my lower lip, through with my teeth. But I walked and smiled, just smiled. It took them a long time to stitch up my lip because I was smiling, and the doctors reassured me. I understood the whole situation, where I had been, and I was given the right to return. At that moment, I didn't draw any particular conclusions, but when my mom and dad passed away, which happened 4 years ago, I had enough time to think about it, about all of life, to remember every situation, and kind of come to an understanding of it all. And there was more information. I started watching, searching to find out what it was. At first I thought it was a fainting spell, but as my friend said, my pupils were dilated, there was no breathing and no pulse. And people had already started to leave when I came to. That is, I saw them leaving when I regained consciousness. And he didn't really draw any conclusions. It was a lesson. It kind of resonated in those images. In other words, it's a lesson to reflect. I reflected. I worked through them, understood them, what I did, created in life, so to speak. Well, even up to killing cats in childhood. Well, literally, at 5 years old, 6 years old. Well, it happened simply. Well, company, friends, all that. And I started to remember all of it literally there. And they showed me these images, everything. My relationship with my wife. There was a suicide attempt. They showed everything. Today I have worked through all the lessons I remembered, saw, and were shown to me. That is, I have fully understood everything. I'm not afraid at all. It's like a gift. I don't know, it's probably definitely like returning home. You just need to believe, search, listen to yourself, your soul, your heart, your subconscious. It comes. For some it comes earlier, for others later. The wife went to visit her beloved dear mother in another city and started drinking heavily, and soon she died from cirrhosis of the liver. I took my daughter, and to this day she is with me. She knew just recently when the realization suddenly came. The sister didn't know. Nobody did. Why is it hard to talk? Because nobody wanted to hear and listen. Nobody believed. And at that time, I just withdrew into myself. I just stopped, forgot about it. If someone had listened to me, supported me, maybe the realization would have come earlier. Just a gray mass all around? Absolutely nothing. And they don't even want to believe it. A friend told me, what is death? You die, the worms eat you, that's it. You're gone. I say, no, there is absolutely. There is certainly, indeed, you need to speak clearly so that other people hear and believe it, and convincingly. We're not afraid of death. We are most likely afraid of death because we fear losing someone and fear that others will lose us. But death itself does not exist. And how good it was in that white light. Well, yes, as Tatiana says, the source. I have never encountered anything like it anywhere.